Hi guys.
Hi.
Hi. Today I have a guest.
Yeah, my name is Eric. I'm Charity's son. I'm sure she's talked about me a lot. You also saw me in a previous video where I took you guys through buying my first car.
Yes. So today we are going to see the life in the US in his eyes. So that's what we are going to talk about today. But before anything, thank you for subscribing to my channel. Thank you for all your support. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, kindly consider subscribing. And like I always say, guys, when you watch my video, please give it a thumbs up and make a short comment there. The feedback is always appreciated. So today we are going to start with asking Eric to introduce himself. I think he has told us his name. And now, so how did you come to the US, Eric?
Well, came to the US when I was 12 years old. I came with my mom. She won a green card. And as you guys know, she's made videos about that, which are really cool. You should go watch them if you're looking to apply for a green card. And but yeah, we came to the US. Was it 2014 or 2015?
2014.
2014. It's been around 8 years since. I was 12. Now I'm 20 years old. And it's been a journey for sure. And thank God for everything that's happened, for sure.
Good. So when you came when you came here in the US, what grade did you go to?
I was in 8th grade when I came to the US. That's the grade right before high school. And 8th grade, I did the whole year of 8th grade at a Catholic school. That was really fun. I really liked it. And then I moved on to high school, Bishop Carroll Catholic High School. And that was also a really good experience, yes.
So coming from Kenya, and now you have come into this new environment and everything is new, especially when you went to 8th grade. How did you adjust to that?
Well, it was a fairly difficult change since I did leave my friends back home. I left a lot of people that I cared for, but I was only 12 years old. Caring can only go so far when you're that young. And there's bigger and better opportunities here. But 8th grade, it was a little bit hard adjusting, but luckily we learned English in Kenya, and that helped out a lot for sure. I could communicate, I knew what I was doing, and the education we get in Kenya is easily transferable here, meaning that math, mathematics, English, science, all of those, they're basically the same. But in Kenya, I'd say it's a little bit more in depth. But here it's a little bit more of like the important stuff that you learn. And the hardest part, I'd say, was adjusting to the new place for sure, because it's a new environment. You don't know anybody,
right?
And it's just hard. But after a little bit, once you get used to it, it becomes bearable. You become better at communicating with people, learning who people are,
right?
And you start building relationships, because that's where it's all at, building relationships with people,
right? So so back in Kenya, and we are going to talk about Kenya, but I hope this video is going to help everyone who is outside US. But I'm going to focus a little bit in Kenya, because that's where Eric went to school. When you went to class in the US and you went to class in Kenya, was there, apart from the studies, what else was different?
Well, first of all, Kenya is very strict. Kenya is very, very strict. As you guys know, we get disciplined there, which is probably the biggest change here. You do not, because your consequences are your consequences. If you don't pass class, if you don't pass school, at the end of the year, you might repeat. There's nobody there to push you. You're there to push yourself.
Okay.
I'd say the thing about school in America is about independence, and independence is a very, very big thing. So if you don't work, you don't get the results,
right?
Which and in turn makes you not go forward in life.
Okay.
Yes.
So they don't push you like the way you are pushed so much in Kenya, but here, like, you have to take ownership of what you're doing.
Yes, you have to take ownership of what you're doing. But school is fun.
Mhm.
From in middle school, which is what I was in 8th grade,
Mhm.
you have recess, which
Mhm.
is in the middle of the day. You guys go out and you hang out outside with your
Mhm.
friends, so you can make friends like that as well.
Mhm.
And you get really good food. It's very, very different food. School food is different.
Okay.
We get served school at lunch every
Mhm.
single day, breakfast, lunch, and then you get out at school at 3 p.m. Another
Mhm.
difference is the school hours in Kenya. You guys might remember going to school at 7 a.m., getting
Right.
out at like 10 p.m.
Mhm.
That's not the case here. School is 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. usually, and that's the school hours. And you're off Saturday and Sunday. You can do prep work, but that's usually not. It's usually not something people do a lot,
Mhm.
because what you get at school is easy enough to understand, that you can adjust yourself and compose yourself and do well in it if you put in the work, for sure.
Okay. Now, so now transitioning your, from primary to high school. So how was that? How is that different from Kenya?
High school, I went to a boarding, meaning there's girls and boys, and it's also, as I said.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the hardest part was making friends, because I'm from Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
You could feel lonely. I went to a school where it was 98% white kids, which it's not bad at all. I made friends. It was good, but either way, if you're the only black kid there, you feel like you're the odd one out
Right.
sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
and you just gotta find your group, find some friends.
Mm-hmm.
But because people had made friends from childhood, had gone to the same school until high school,
Okay.
people had already had like deep bonds with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of just gotta find your group. Again, try and make relationships. But high school, it was really fun.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed it. High school is 4 years here as well. But we start school right after the summer
Mm-hmm.
in August, I'm sure. Yes. And then you finish school in May.
Okay.
And then you have 3 months off in the summer, which is the summer right now, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go back to school again in August.
Okay.
But high school wasn't really hard, except for the latter end of high school.
Mm-hmm.
It goes from freshman year to sophomore year to junior year and then to senior year.
So can you explain to them what is freshman, what is sophomore, what is junior? Like how does it compare to the grades?
So freshman year is like Form 1,
Mm-hmm.
and then Form 2 is sophomore year, Form 3 is junior year, and then Form 4 is senior year.
Mm-hmm.
And then after Form 4, you go on to college. But usually people graduate at around 18 years old. So
Mm-hmm.
you're an adult, and then you start making your own decisions after that.
So was there any bullying in school?
Yeah, there was bullying, but
Mm-hmm.
you just gotta know how to stand up for yourself.
Okay.
You can't have people stepping on you
Mm-hmm.
just because you're an outsider. You gotta like have the confidence, have the bravado to speak up for yourself if somebody does something wrong to you.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta tell them, hey, I don't like that.
Right.
Hey, stop doing this, because ultimately teachers are there, of course, but they're
Mm-hmm.
not there to discipline. They're there to teach.
Right.
And if you get in trouble, if you get in a fight, both kids, even if the kid who started the fight was not you,
Mm-hmm.
you will get suspended from school.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't really a big issue for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't look for trouble.
Right.
I try to, kind of keep in my own lane, do my own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, how I adjusted to school, I'd say, for sure.
Okay.
Yes. But of course, there are scary kids, but
Yeah, of
you know,
course, that's there.
you gotta look at it like, this kid's like 16 years old.
Right.
I'm 16 years old as
Mhm.
well. There's not too much he can do to me.
Right.
And even if he tried, you can always stand up for yourself. You need to learn how to stand up for yourself. For
Yeah,
sure. Yes.
yeah. So in high school you worked,
Yes, I did work. in
and
high
you
school.
had a car, and you had a driver's license. Now tell us
Yes.
all about that.
So in Wichita, the main mode of transportation is driving,
Mm-hmm.
and you need a car to get everywhere. At 16, you can get your license, and that's when I went out and got my permit license. The
Mhm.
permit allows you to start driving a car with an adult in the car.
Right.
My dad taught me how to drive. I learned
Mhm.
how to drive a manual car. Which I was very fortunate to do that, because then everything else was easy.
Right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But I could only get a car after I got a job, so that I could save enough money for myself
Uh-huh.
and buy my own car as well.
Yes.
But I really wanted to go to work,
Mhm.
and start my life kind of,
Good.
I really didn't know what I was doing, but it just felt right to go to work. It felt
Mhm.
right to do something for myself. And I actually started work at 15 years old
Mhm.
at McDonald's.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that job in McDonald's.
Yeah, but I
How
worked
did that
there.
go?
But I worked there for 2 days, and
And you quit after 2 days.
actually they let me go
Mhm.
because I was too young.
Oh yeah.
They told me
Actually, I
yes,
remember now. Mhm.
because I'm a little bit, since I moved from Kenya to the US, I was 1 year ahead of everybody else in school.
Right.
Meaning, when I was in 8th grade at 12 years old, most kids were either 13 or 14 years old.
Mhm.
But so when I went to McDonald's and they asked me, "Hey, what year are you in?" I told them I'm gonna be a junior, Form
Right.
3. And as
Mhm.
a junior, Form 3, you're supposed to be 17 years old.
Mhm.
But I was 15 years old
Yes.
at the time.
Mhm.
And then after like my first shift, he asked me, "Hey, Eric, I need you to go get me your driver's license. We need to finish up some paperwork."
Mhm.
The next day I came in for my shift, and he said, "Hey, buddy, you're not old enough to work here anymore." And I was like, "What do you mean?" It said
Uh-huh.
50. If you hurt yourself, then there's liability with that, which I
Right.
completely understood. But
Mhm.
I made my first $75 like that,
Right.
and it was a good starting point. But
Uh-huh.
then after 1 year, when I was 16 years old, I got my actual real job
Mhm.
at Panera Bread.
Mhm.
Panera Bread is a restaurant. It's not fast food, but it's not like Hilton,
Mhm.
like Hilton Hotel. There's a drive-through there.
Mhm.
We can go someday. We can take a video for you
Yeah.
guys for sure,
Yeah.
and
Uh-huh.
show you Panera where I used to work.
Good.
And I worked there from sophomore year, Form
Mhm.
2.
Mhm. Okay.
I made really, really good friends,
Mhm.
and that's why actually I met my best friends. That's how I build my relationship with my best friends. But I worked there for 3 years. I made my first $1,000, and then my mom pitched in $1,000 as well to
Uh-huh.
buy my first car,
I
and
remember
it was a
that.
really big help for sure. I was really happy that day.
Yeah.
I bought a 1993 Lincoln Town Car.
Mhm.
That car, it's a big boat.
Yes.
Basically,
Uh-huh.
it looks like a Mercedes. It's really
Uh-huh.
big and wide. It was really old, but it had leather seats. It had like electronic gauges from
Mhm.
1993,
Mhm.
air suspension. It was just a sick ride for
Uh-huh.
a 16-year-old.
Good.
And I felt proud of owning that vehicle, and
Mhm.
I felt proud of working for
Yeah.
that vehicle.
Yeah.
And that kind of gives you work ethic, kind of gives you a reason to just keep going,
Mhm.
finding ways to improve your life some more.
Right.
Yes.
So how did you adjust? Now you're in school, you're 16 years old, you're working at Panera Bread, you have high school. So how did you balance those two?
It was hard because I was also doing track and cross country
Mhm.
and sometimes swimming and also soccer.
Yeah.
A lot of sports.
Oh, you had a lot of sports.
I was doing a lot in high school,
Mhm.
but I was finding myself, is what I'd say, finding what I liked. I
Mhm.
played soccer for Form 1 to Form 2, so
Mhm.
freshman year and sophomore year.
Right.
And sophomore year, I quit soccer and I decided to run for
Mhm.
my school, my high school.
Right.
And I did cross country,
Mhm.
which the main race is cross country, is running 5 miles.
Yeah, I
And
remember those ones. Those
yeah,
were hard times.
it was pretty fun for sure.
Yeah.
Training was gruesome. I'd go
Mhm.
to school at around, sometimes I'd go to school at 5 a.m. so
Mhm.
that we can go
Yeah.
run, or put in a workout. And then after, we'd go to the locker rooms, take a shower at school, and then, put on our school clothing, our uniform,
Mhm.
and then go to class. And then after class, I had more practice for cross country, which I
Yes.
would go ahead and put in my miles for the day.
Mhm.
And then after that, I'd go to work until around 10 p.m.
Mhm.
So I'd be working maybe 5 or 6 hours in a day. And then I'll be working 4 days in a week.
Mhm.
So I'd be working one day on, one day off, one day on, one day off.
Mhm.
And I don't know, it just kind of worked out, it's just what I did for sure. And I made good money from it. I was
Good.
able to, buy myself stuff that I wanted.
Mhm.
I built a computer. by
Oh
myself.
yeah, tell us about building your computer.
Um, it's
And
not
you
very.
built your mom a computer too, right?
Yes, I did.
Uh-huh.
So it's not very hard. You just buy some parts and put them together. But then you have to learn, and that's actually how I met my best friends. One of my best friends, his name is Kwa. He taught me how to build a computer. He built it with me.
Mm-hmm.
And from there on, he introduced me to his friends. And
Mm-hmm.
then sooner or later, it was five of us, and we were all best friends. And,
Good.
it's a friendship that's lasted about 6 years now.
That's really
And,
good.
that's very, very good. We still talk. We're adults. It's much harder now because, we all have full time jobs
Mm-hmm.
and, we're all doing our own thing.
Right.
But, we go out to eat every once in a while and
Mm-hmm.
actually live with my best friend right now.
Good.
Which is, another benefit of making relationships.
Yeah.
You can find people who you trust, find people who you can move forward with in life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, school was very nice. And senior year, that was the hardest year. I dropped all of my sports
Yes, I
so that I could
remember.
focus on studying.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of the time where things started getting hazy about what I wanted to do with after high school.
Yeah.
The plan usually is to go to college for something that you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that was that was what I did for sure. I went to Wichita State University.
Right.
But after a little bit, I went in for computer science.
Mm-hmm.
But after a little bit, I dropped out and I was like, okay, I don't think computer science is my thing. I'm gonna take a little bit of time to myself so I can find myself, because I was only 17 years old.
Yes.
Expected to figure out the rest of my life.
True.
That's not gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really realistic in my mind. So I kind of took a year off and learned my hobbies, learned myself, and I got into like real estate,
Mm-hmm.
which is what I'm doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I found a full-time job. I moved from Panera because we were not making enough. We wanted more.
Mm-hmm.
It was a job. It was a fun job. It was a good job to learn work ethic, to learn how to talk to people.
Mm-hmm.
Fast food is very good to learn how to talk to people.
Yeah.
Because you talk to about over 200 people in a day in
Mm-hmm.
one shift, because they're coming in, they're ordering food. You meet lots of people. You meet rude people.
Uh-huh.
You meet really good people.
Yeah.
People who tip you really well.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a good experience at Panera. But then I said I have to do something better for myself, get something better.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to join emergency services at here in the US, and
Mm-hmm.
that's where I'm currently working now. I've worked there for about a year,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm really loving it at the moment.
Okay.
Yes.
So you have transitioned from high school. You have come to college. You have paused a little bit, and you're doing your real estate thing, and now you're having your job. Now, how is that going for you?
It's going really well, I'd
Mhm.
say. Well, first of all, with work, I've had 2 promotions,
Mhm.
which is very, very good.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I started as somebody who takes calls about emergencies, helping people. The whole job is about helping people. It's a really, really good career.
Mhm.
I really love it. It gives you a sense of I'm doing something worthwhile. I'm helping out society. I'm putting in my part.
Mhm.
And at first, I started as a call taker. So I'd talk to people, 911, what's the address of your emergency? They'd tell me stuff, and then I'd send either an ambulance, police, or the fire trucks to
Mhm.
help out. And that's what I usually did. And then I became a dispatcher,
Mhm.
which dispatching is actually sending the police, fire, and EMS out to
Mhm.
people. So you get on the radio and you tell the units, like an engine, a
Mhm.
fire truck.
Yeah.
You tell the fire truck, hey, there's a fire here. We need to go to it. And then if they accept, and then, they go out, put out the fire,
Mhm.
and, we reduce people dying,
Mhm.
casualties. And it's a very good job, I'd say.
Mhm.
But it is definitely a change
Mhm.
from working 27 hours a week to working 40 hours a week. The minimum you can work on a full-time job is 40 hours a week,
Mhm.
but you make really good money. After every 2 weeks, you get paid, and then so you get paid twice a month. That's how I get paid, at least.
Mhm.
And yeah, you just kind of have to find your balance, is what I'd say.
Yeah.
You just got to find your work-life balance. But you've got to find hobbies as well. I went to school for real estate.
Mhm.
I had a private tutor. I had 2 private tutors, actually, for real estate, and it's given me goals that I never thought I would have.
Right.
It's given me a plan for my future, basically. And I'm very, very excited about that.
Okay.
Very, very excited. But right now I'm currently working. Still working at 911, trying to build money so that, you know, I can further proceed with my goals, you know, further grow into the man I want to become.
Okay, so tell us, at what point did you get your second car?
My second car, let me think. Well, my first car, it
You were in
died
high-
actually.
Yeah, it died.
It died
yeah.
on me. Yes, that's what happened.
Yeah,
The
it
alternator
died.
died while I was in the middle of the road. Actually, it almost died in the middle of the road. It
Yeah.
started smoking, but then I was like, no, don't die on me yet. And then, you know, I took a left turn. The engine was smoking. And then I literally, right when I pulled in to my house, right outside, the car died. So I guess it was good luck.
Right,
You know?
it was good luck.
It was good
yeah.
luck, I guess. You know, he
Uh-huh.
got me home that day, and then I got my second car, which was a Cadillac Catera. That car, it was okay. It was not as good as the Lincoln. I really didn't like it that much. It had a
True.
little bit more problems on it. So, you know, I kind of decided, okay, I don't want this anymore.
True.
So, you know, we got rid of that car. It's not very difficult to find cars. The difficult part is to find the money for cars.
True.
Yes. So you got to work for your car. I was still working at Panera when my Lincoln died. So I was making about $400 every 2 weeks. So about $800 a month.
A month, yeah.
Which, you know, for a 16-year-old, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot.
It is a lot of money.
You're rich.
Right.
Yeah.
But, you know, after I said, okay, I want a better car, better mode of transportation that will last me a while, we went to a dealership, just like in the video that we recorded the other day. And then
That's your fourth car, actually.
Yes.
You know, I wasn't remembering the Catera. I
Yes.
forgot about it.
This is the newest one is my fourth car.
Yeah.
But then I got the Infiniti G37. It's a very nice car.
Yeah.
Bought it for about $13,000, and I was paying $225 every month in car payments, and my insurance was about $400 a month.
Yeah,
Very,
tell
very
us about
expensive.
insurance. Why was it very high? Like for you?
As a young person, insurance deems you more risky because they see that you're not fully mature, you know, you don't make the best decisions. So, you know, you might be going down a road and then you decide, I'm going to just start speeding.
Oh, yeah.
You know, just because you're feeling it, and then you end up in an accident, which
Right.
then insurance has to pay for the accident because you have to have insurance. Insurance is a liability thing, so you don't have to pay out of pocket. Basically, you pay like $200 every month. I was paying $400,
Yeah.
so that in case anything ever happens, they'll pay for any medical bills that you know are accrued, any car bills that are accrued, and then you know they help you get a new car as well. Insurance, it's mandatory. You have to have insurance if you have a vehicle. You have to have medical insurance if you have, you know, if you live in Kansas. But I was paying $600 for the Infiniti total. This is insurance plus
Your monthly car
plus my
payment.
monthly car payment plus gas.
Oh,
which
yeah.
was $50 every single week because that car was a very expensive car. It drained gas a lot,
Yeah.
heavily. But so that's when I decided, okay, I'm not making enough money. I need to find something better.
True.
And then I went to 911, and you know, then I started making good money. You know, I started, you know, thinking more about myself, you know, thinking what I could do. I was making about $1,000 every single month. No, every single 2 weeks. So I went from making $800 a month to making about $2,000 a month, which is really good money, I'd say.
Yeah, for a young person.
Yes,
for a young person.
I was 18
Yeah.
when I joined 911. It was right after I graduated high school. And then after I joined 911, I was making good enough money.
Right.
I decided to fund my own private tutoring. I was paying about $1,000 in tutoring, which was very, very good knowledge. 100%. I do not regret it. But it was very, very hard to keep up with that because I still had my monthly payments, of course, remember, for my car, going up to almost $800. And then, you know, add on $1,000 onto that, I only have $200 left. And, you know, so, you know, I decided I need to learn how to make more money.
Yes.
So it's all about the hustle. I started doing this program called DoorDash. DoorDash is you drive around, you pick up like orders, people order food, and then you pick it up from a store, and then you take it to their home, and then they pay you.
Good.
And this is how I used to make ends meet. I used to drive for DoorDash, and then I'd use that money for gas and
Mhm.
to subsidize me buying my own stuff as well.
Right.
But my mom really helped out because I was still living at her house, and
Yeah,
and
we'll talk about that.
yeah, I
Yeah.
was still living at her house, and it was
Uh-huh.
very, very helpful. I could save money, not paying rent, and I could focus my money on my education, which was my first and foremost goal right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
So let's talk about now you're working in 911. Let's talk about moving out because we have to touch on that. And why did you decide like it's time that you're gonna move out? And like how is that going? And I also want to talk about yes, you have had this education about real estate. Do you still plan to go back to college and get something more? I want to talk about that and know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do plan to go back to college.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually getting enrolled right now for some fall classes. I wanted to pick up some summer classes,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm in training right now for another promotion for the job.
Mm-hmm.
And then after, I'll be able to, sit down and I'll be free. My time will be mostly free, and then I'll be able to take online school. I'm thinking of doing accounting.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm thinking
Mm-hmm. Good.
because as much as I love 911, I feel like I want something even more stable.
Yeah.
Something, to have a piece of paper that says I can work this. This is a degree I have
Yes.
that I can take anywhere and they'll hire me.
Mm-hmm.
That opens up a lot of doors.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
lot of doors.
Yeah.
And then,
Absolutely. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
if once I get my degree in accounting, I'll be able to make even more money, which will further push on my goals for real estate.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's talk about moving out.
Uh-huh.
That was the hardest. Like that one hit me so hard because I didn't want you to move out. So
Yeah.
like why?
Well, I just moved out about 6 months ago.
Yes.
It was a big decision. I was thinking about it for about a year.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my best friend, we sat down, we talked about it. We just kind of decided, let's try something new, see if we can make it out ourselves. We make enough money. We're okay,
Mm-hmm.
so why not try something out new? Why not try and go out and, just make our life for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So we planned, we sat down, we started looking for houses. We started looking for apartments, but we didn't want any apartments. Apartments are a little bit dangerous here
Yeah.
in the U.S. So we
Mm-hmm.
decided to get a house. The house that we got was about $950 a month.
Yeah.
Divided by 2 people. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
paying about $400 in
Mm-hmm.
rent every month, plus bills and utilities, totals to about $600 every single month.
Mm-hmm.
Which it's good dynamic right there. We're
Yeah.
best friends. We live together.
Mm-hmm.
We know each other very, very well. And I don't know, moving out was it just felt like the right thing to do next.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I did have my mom's support, and I really, really do appreciate that, even if she was very sad that I moved out.
Yeah.
But it's what people do. People
Yeah.
move from their parents' house to make their own lives, and that's what I'm trying to do, at least.
Okay. So living by yourself
Mhm.
and living under with your parents, like is there any growth that you have seen in those 6 months?
Yeah. So living with yourself, of course, you are more alone in your head because there's no siblings. I don't have, somebody to go and talk to really, other than my best friend, which, he's amazing. He's a pretty cool guy as well. But, you're away from home. And that's a big, big change. Very,
Mm-hmm.
very big change.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to sit down and be comfortable with it, be comfortable with yourself, and then, I slowly started learning things about myself that I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
I started learning about hobbies that I liked. I could sit down and then, try and figure out what I'm going to do next because it's only me now.
Yeah.
I'm alone out there, but so far it's going very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm reading more books, to grow into, a person that I want to become. For sure. And I wouldn't say it's hard. I'd just say it's challenging.
So let's talk to that person who is outside US.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter whatever part they are in the world, but they're outside there in the US.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they came in here through a green card, because I encourage even the young people to apply for the green card. They came in here through an F1 visa.
Mm-hmm.
So like as a young man, in your own eyes, how can that person come from outside US, come into the US, transition, and be successful?
So the transition is really, really, it's probably the hardest part because you're coming from your home. You're coming from your home to a place where you don't know at all. Nobody knows you. Everybody's suspicious of you because of your skin color. And there's, that's just how people are.
Yeah.
You just gotta accept it how
Oh
it is.
yeah, it's what it is.
Right, it is
yeah,
what it
and
is.
it's sad. It's very, very sad that people in this day and age that people still judge people with their skin color.
Exactly.
It's sad. Yeah.
But even though you will still find good people.
Oh yeah,
You will
very,
find
very
very,
good
very good
people.
people.
Yeah,
Yes. Especially in Kansas, there's a lot of good people here.
very, very
Wichita,
good people.
very, very good people. It's a nice quiet city, as quiet as it can be for a big city.
Mhm.
But if you're a genuine person, you don't show malice, like you're out to like get something from
Right.
somebody.
Mhm.
You'll make good relationships, and it's all about relationships and having an open mind.
And
So
being honest. I think
yes,
honesty
honesty is
really
very, very big.
plays a big part.
Yes.
Mhm.
But with a Kenyan education, I'd say you have an edge than people here. People here, they were born here, they don't know any different.
Mhm.
We know what poverty is.
Oh yeah, we do.
We
yeah.
know what living in Kenya is like. And when you come here, everything is glamorous, everything is high end. Everything is just top tier.
Mhm.
And everybody here is used to it like that.
Would you like compare it like I just want to like drive the message home. Would you compare it like maybe moving from like the slums and going to live in Runda or something better than Runda? Because I can't compare US with Runda. Like
something even
I would
better
say
than Runda,
it's better than that. So
if
like
you,
uh-huh.
if you go to like Tao, Nairobi town, when you go to like those big estates,
Yes,
that's what you see here everywhere, and that's the normal.
Yeah, that's the normal.
And then the big
and even
thing,
better.
yeah, and then the big thing is where you actually get to the rich people. They have mansions, houses bigger than.
Oh yeah.
Huge,
Oh
crazy
my
huge.
gosh,
You walk-
crazy. Yeah.
You walk into a house where their living room is as big as your house. It's very so you
Yeah.
just look at it's two different worlds, I'd say, but you can't get discouraged because every single opportunity that everybody has here, you have as well.
Right.
Because America is like that. It's the land of milk and honey, not because it's like the best place on earth, because it's honestly it's not the best place on earth.
True.
But if you compare it to everywhere else, it is the best place on earth.
Good.
There's
Yeah,
the
that's
most
very true.
opportunities that you have here. You'll find a job if you want to work. Anywhere you'll find a job if you want to work. You wouldn't come here unless you're lazy. You'll make it. That's what I'll say. So you gotta have an open mind. Learn more. Read more books. Read books that challenge you to like be a better person. And learn from people. But be cautious is what I'd say. Being cautious is very, very careful. That's what I'm learning right now. Obviously, I'm only 20 years old, and you guys are probably much, much wiser than I am because you've lived way longer than I have, and you have more experiences than I have.
Right.
But from my insight, what has helped me grow is having an open mind,
Right.
listening attentively to people,
Mhm.
listening to what they say. If
Mhm.
somebody's trying to teach me something, I'm going to listen.
True.
And then I'm going to go back and sit down and think about it and be like, okay, is this something that I'd want to take into my mind, or do I think this person is just giving me crap?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you take in everything, but only choose what you can use. Like with real estate, I've had a lot of people try to cross me in real estate, and a lot of people have hurt my business. But even though I've had those failures, I'm learning more and more each and every time. Even though it hurts that my business might not be doing as best as I want it to be, it's still going.
Yeah.
I'm still pushing at it. So you just gotta keep pushing, and you'll be fine. Really, come over here. It's really great.
Oh, it
There's
is.
great
Oh my
food,
gosh.
great people.
Uh-huh.
It's a beautiful place. I think you guys would love it a lot.
Mhm.
I enjoy it for sure. And I'm young. I'm 20 years old. I'm trying to do my best for my future, for my family, for my future family.
Yes.
For the generations to come.
All right.
So it's not, and don't be so focused on yourself only.
True.
Focus on yourself, but also remember that people around you can help you out as well. Because you can't do it alone here.
True.
If you want to get a job, you'll have to be a nice enough person to go to an interview and make a good impression.
Yeah.
You need to make a good impression.
That's
to
very,
every
very
single
important.
person there's an image you have to build about yourself. And if you're just honest, that image will come without even trying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're really thinking about trying to come to the US, do your best. Hope and hope and hope, do everything that you can if you really want to come here, and hopefully it works out. And when it does, come here and we'll teach you even more things.
Oh yeah, we will.
For
Yeah,
sure,
yeah.
because
So let's talk about we've talked about success. Let's talk about failure because it's sad and I've seen like young people come here and they end up failing. Not even young people, even adults like me, they end up failing. So as a young man, like what can cause you to fail? Because success is one hand and the balance is failure.
yeah, so I talk to a lot of people every single day, 911.
Mm-hmm.
I talk to a lot of people. Everybody comes to me with problems,
Mm-hmm.
something that they want to get fixed, and I listen and, I send out the help that I can.
Mm-hmm.
And then, officers go out there, they help them out. But I'd say most failure is caused by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't work on yourself, if you
Mm-hmm.
don't be a good person, not necessarily be a good person like being nice. No, being like an upstanding right person, somebody who tries to contribute to society, somebody who just, just wants to be a good person, you just want to be here, make your own life. You'll be okay for sure. But if you don't work on yourself, you'll fall into depression,
Yeah.
and there's
Mm-hmm.
everything here. There's everything from the best food you could ever have to the worst drugs that you could ever see.
True.
And drugs are a big thing here. You'll get caught up in it.
Yeah,
You'll
I'm
find
glad that you talked
people.
about drugs, Eric, because that's a major one.
It is very major.
And alcoholism, it's
Yes,
major.
yes, because there's a lot of stress, and
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of stress here, and the stress can, lead you to meet people who you might think they want the best for you, and
Yeah.
then, one day they're like, hey, try this out, and then sooner or later, you're stuck in an addiction. You're spending all your hard-earned money, into that drug right there, and you can't use that money to grow yourself. You can't use that money to go out and rent out your own house, which, in turn, if you do it enough, you'll end up homeless.
Yeah.
There is stuff for homeless people here. There are shelters, but nobody wants to, at least I don't want to be the person who wants to get handouts from everybody.
Right.
I want to be my own person. I want to be somebody who can provide for myself and provide for other people as well.
Mm-hmm.
But really just keeping check of yourself is what I'd say. Of course we're all human, we all make mistakes.
True.
We all have our flaws.
Oh yeah.
For sure,
Mm-hmm.
and you might fall into bad habits, but you always got to remember where you came from. You always got to remember, where you're headed to. You always have to have a vision, have an open mind, just, if you see a bad crowd, as I said, if you can't get out of the situation, listen, listen. And then when you go back home and you're laying in your bed at night, you think about it, you're like, was that really the interaction I wanted to have? Did I get what I wanted from, those people? If the answer is no, those people are not helping me, they're making my life worse, get rid of them.
There's no point.
Yeah, there's a billion people on the planet. There's so many people you'll meet. Everywhere you go, you can strike up a conversation.
Yeah.
And as a Kenyan, it's easy to strike conversation.
I think it is. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
And at the same time, I think I normally talk about the power of saying no if you feel like it's not okay.
Yes.
I think that's a big one. Because,
don't get pushed into stuff, that you don't like to do. If you don't like something, say no. If you don't want to do something, say no, because people respect you if you can stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
And people will try to push you, and if you say no, but stay firm, stay firm. Don't
do what is best for you.
Yes, look out for number one right here, and look out for your family. That's the biggest thing, your family. Even if you grow a bigger family through friends, have people close to you that you can trust, people you can respect, but always have an open mind so you can keep growing. Always have an open mind is what I'd say.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we've talked about so many things from this young man, and I know that you guys have seen from a young man's perspective how life is here, because it's good to talk about the reality and to bring different people here so that you can understand about US, because like I told you before we came here, we didn't have so much, so we kind of tried to find our way.
We didn't have a lot. We started in an apartment.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
right?
We started in an apartment. And now my mom's owns a house. She owns 3 cars. I own a car. It's doable. It is. It's not hard. It's just challenging. Actually, I wouldn't say it's not hard. It is hard. You will cry a lot. But you'll make it if you just keep pushing through it. If you just keep thinking about the next step. what you're gonna do next. What can I do to improve my life, even just a little bit. If I didn't do it yesterday, I'm gonna do it today. If I don't do it today, I'm gonna do it tomorrow. And make sure you do it, because it's all about taking those little steps, because we all start from somewhere.
We do.
We all start from somewhere.
So, what's your last thing? Like, the last thing that you can tell someone out there?
When you come here.
No, before that, let me cut you short. I wanted
Okay.
to ask you about something. We've seen like there's a lot of violence that's going on, and it's affecting everybody, because everybody is worried about the gun violence and everything. Like, what's your take on that? And why do you think it's happening? Because it's young people.
I think there's a lot of
and
stress.
violence.
There's a lot of stress in the world. There's a lot of stress here in young people in the U.S. I've had my own hardships. I've been through depression. I've come out of it. I'm glad that I came out of it. But there's people who don't. There's people who get stuck, and you don't want to get stuck. You get stuck by staying where you are. You get stuck by not doing anything about your life. You get stuck by not wanting more, and then you become bitter in yourself. You start hating yourself, and then sooner or later you're like, well, I don't want to live anymore. You can either go through suicide, or the people who are just a little bit more unhinged, they go and hurt other people, which is not good at all. I do not advocate for it at all. Not at all. No, zero. Hurting other people should be the last thing on your mind.
Actually, even hurting yourself.
Hurting yourself should be the last thing on your mind. Helping yourself should be the first thing. You might not like yourself, but too bad. You're stuck with yourself for the rest of your life.
True.
You gotta push through it. You gotta work on yourself. You got to
get help.
Yes, get help. We're seeking out for help. There's a lot of help here. If you go to school, Wichita State University, which is where I went, actually any school, we have counselors who will talk to you.
Actually, they start from primary school, right?
You have programs, but you have to utilize those programs. That's what people don't realize. They just want the programs to come to them, but you can't help somebody who doesn't ask for help.
True.
Ask and you shall receive. That's how I kind of see the U.S. Ask and you shall receive, because everything I've asked for, I've received, because everything I've asked for, I've put it in my mind, and I've thought of steps of getting it. And now I'm here, and I'd say I'm doing well for myself. I'm not there yet. I'm not even close to there yet. I don't know what my future leads me to, but I can take the necessary steps to make it a better future for myself. Things will happen. You will slide back. You will find bad people. You'll find girlfriends who will hurt you. You'll find men who want to cheat you out of your money. Men who actually who cheat you out of your money. All types of people. There's all types of people in the world. Just like in Kenya, there's a lot of types of people. Just same thing here, But you just gotta learn from experience. Learn who you are. Stand by who you are, and just you'll be fine. I promise that. 100%. You will be fine.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, if you guys have any questions, reach out to us. We're always here. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And also, thanks for my mom for hosting me. Letting me tell a little bit of my story. And hopefully you guys can see me some other time, and I'm doing better, and I hope you'll be doing better as well. And thank you a lot.
Thank you guys for watching. We hope that you're going to enjoy this video. Watch out for more videos on this page.